Hi, so this is Brittany Harlacker here with my Ignite talk on From Teacher Motivated to Student Motivated using our formative assessment class. And it's been kind of interesting taking this class because I really have felt like as a teacher, I have transformed. Just like our classroom is constantly transforming. We have come such a long way of how we used to teach compared to where we are now. And it's only helping our students really grow. I do think, though, as educators, because there's so much more that we're required to do, our expectations are sometimes too high. And we're not really able to take a step back to take a look at what each of our students' needs are and what their abilities are. We're just constantly focused on them performing well on tests rather than growing as learners. And I think that's why I was where I was as a teacher. I was just kind of going through the motions and doing what I thought I had to do rather than what I should be doing. Just kind of falling through my curriculum map versus using my students' learning to guide my instruction. I wasn't using enough appropriate feedback. I was just taking grades to have grades versus now I'm involving my kids in their learning process, having them set goals and see if they can reach them throughout the week and them taking the initiative. It helps them understand where they are as learners. And I think that's where we come in as teachers, making them believe in themselves, and we need to believe in them. It helps them focus more on their learning and make them aware of where they are. And it's engaging them. We can't develop learners without them being focused on what they're doing and helping them be a part of it. So I really started thinking to myself, how can I focus my instruction more on my students and I working to get together to improve their learning and my instruction at the same time? And I really thought these 7 strategies helped me do that. They've opened my eyes to a whole new program, a whole new way of teaching. And I think it's been an awesome journey so far of where I've come in such a short time. Strategy 1 and strategy 2, just setting those clear learning targets so the students understand their learning path and making them student friendly. I already did this with LEQs, but I started changing the way I word my LEQs so students do understand what's expected of them. Using more examples and models. Expectations are set that way. Students know what we want from them. With strategies 3 and 4 of where they are now, I just want my students to work with me in their learning. They know who they are better than we do at times. And I think that if we're able to use this to guide our instruction rather than our curriculum, I think we'll be better off. And I think involving students in the sense of using better feedback. I started doing this with my Google Classroom, and my kids love seeing that. I'm excited about their learning because it makes them excited about it. How can I close that gap? I think it's just understanding what our students need to be better learners and them understanding it as well and reflecting and tracking their own learning. And then allowing them to learn and practice before grading them on performance. No great basketball player was great off of one day at practice, but they weren't penalized for having a bad game. They were given what they need to be successful and to grow and flourish, to become better. We as teachers need to do that and teach them. It's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to get stuff wrong, but you need to take that and learn from it because it's only going to make them a stronger learner. And I think I love that whole idea of the mistake poster that was hanging in that one teacher's room from our reading. I thought that was an awesome way because it shows the kids that even us as teachers make mistakes and it's okay. These 7 strategies have helped develop my students into better learners, especially in my blended classroom. They're showing tremendous growth and they're actually engaged in what they're doing because they're a part of it. I started setting new goals for myself and implementing and teaching students how to self-assess and create attainable goals for themselves. During my reward groups, I have them test themselves on the specific concepts we've already learned, and they go through and look at strengths and suggestions for growth and highlight of what they think that where they are as learners in math. If they think it's a strength of theirs, they have to be able to justify to me why it is. If it's a suggestion for growth, we talk about a plan in order for them to get better. I started using SMART goal setting to kind of teach my students how to set goals for themselves and to give ownership in their own learning. We do this using Seesaw, which I thought was a great tool that I hadn't used before. My students love it because they're able to go back on and self-reflect. And their peers are also able to see what they're posting So overall, I just think these 7 strategies have opened up my eyes and made my students feel more accomplished in their learning and to take ownership and to want to be a better learner. And it's tremendously helping them grow. I've seen them understand harder concepts than ever before, and it's also making me grow to become a better teacher.